Episode 2, my bro.
We're here, man. Listen,
We're here.
it's the voice of J Culture,
It's for us.
and we're back again, man. It's the Walk In Podcast, the podcast where you walk in. See it?
Basically, it's mad
It's jokes in it.
because it's a Sunday.
Yeah.
It's a day off.
Yeah.
We're not actually working. That's
Yeah.
why there's no barbers here today.
Yeah.
We've got Yusuf in the back.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Man,
And, yeah, just another chat, another conversation,
Yeah,
another guest,
yeah,
another walk-in.
yeah.
I'm good to go, man. I'm ready.
All right, man. So, okay, so since last time, that was a flipping fun time. That was a great episode, yeah?
Mhm.
What's been cracking like and what's been cooking since the last episode, man?
Last time you had a problem with you went to the doctors. I had to pick you up at the JP.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that was in Burnt Oak.
Yeah.
And now I was in Edgware Community Hospital,
Oh,
right
swear.
next to Burnt Oak, because I
Yeah.
got the injections done on my shoulders. I had
Oh,
a bit of
bro.
a pain for the last 4 years.
Okay.
So these injections, these steroids are there to kind of help me
Okay.
be a bit stronger because I've had weak shoulders for the
Okay.
last couple of years from barbering.
Okay.
So it's funny because last episode, I'm here
Yeah,
cracking up
man.
at you doing all of this stuff.
It's the
And now the last 2 days,
You see, I see,
Yeah, it's coming around
see what
again.
goes around here. This is what happened. This
I
is
was
life in
laughing
our
too loud.
yeah. This is life in our 30s, man. I'm telling you, yeah.
Crazy.
But it worked though, innit? Yeah, it
It
worked
did.
good.
It did.
We're
But
here.
yeah, one thing that's been happening as well. Yeah, the Rizk beanies came out. Finally got the beanies. Come in
They
different
look-
colorways.
Yeah, clean,
If
clean.
we're going to promote something, we might as well promote our own thing. I've been
Clean.
wearing this for a couple of weeks because I'm always usually the prototype sampler.
Let's go.
So
I like
if something's not straight,
yeah,
something's
yeah.
not done properly,
Yeah.
I'm the one
It's on
wearing
you.
it.
It's on you, yeah.
It's on me. I'm testing it.
Jeez.
And I get it done in a
All
proper
right.
way, if that makes sense.
All right,
So I'm very
cool.
proud of that. We've got the beanies in the wintertime season. And yeah, man, apart from that, I've been on a downer, man, with all the earthquakes and stuff in Syria and Turkey, man. Jay.
Yeah, that's really sad and tragic, man.
So
That's sad and
we
tragic.
don't want to go too deep into that, but I did want to take a little 10 seconds with our listeners or our viewers to kind of have a conscious moment for all those victims and stuff. Turkey, Syria. I've got a few of my friends that are from Turkey, actually.
Okay.
That have had friends that have lost someone. So we
Yeah.
can take a quick little 10 seconds
Easy.
to kind of create that consciousness. Yes.
Bless up, man. One love to the people of Turkey and Syria and all affected, man. It's heartbreaking and tragic. There's some wonderful stories coming out of that, though, man. I've seen some
Yeah.
real bittersweet, instances where people have essentially saved their loved ones and stuff like that. In and amongst that carnage and stuff like that. So our love and our thoughts go out to the people of Syria and Turkey, man.
Love.
But on a lighter note,
Yes.
we're going to speak about life itself today.
Life
I
itself.
reckon, yeah. We're going to speak about life itself. We're going to talk about different lifestyles, different ways of living, something a little bit alternate. You could say alternate lifestyles and consciousness and stuff like that, man. So, like, what's your take on if I was to say to you,
Yeah.
consciousness or alternate lifestyle, what is your take on that? Because you know me, you know how I get down already.
It's like having a subculture almost.
Yeah,
So within the general public, you're doing something maybe a bit different.
right.
So for me, it might be the mornings that I do wake up for morning prayer.
Yeah,
Most of the people are not doing that within
Cool.
the population. So me
Cool.
kind of going, not necessarily against the stream, but doing something that feels right to me.
Got you.
And then doing 10 of those things in a week, let's say, then creates my own alternate, unique lifestyle.
got you.
You explain it a little bit more because you're
Pretty-
the one that came up with this topic.
Yeah,
and
pretty
and,
much.
And I was feeling it from the get-go because
Yeah.
I'm like, do I live an alternate lifestyle?
I don't know. I think it's just. I think it is just the term that we've kind of coined to have this kind of this discussion, right?
Yeah.
So the way I would see is pretty much how you summed it up, right? Is that I feel like in this day and time we go through the meat grinder, right? So
Yeah.
you get up, go to work, go college, do the mundane, typical sort of things that you do to kind of prop up our society and stuff. So I think it's things that are kind of either counter or a little bit outside of that remit.
Well, in that case, I do a lot of that, boy.
Yeah, there you go.
With that clarification, because us being here on a Sunday
Yeah,
is an alternate lifestyle.
Facts.
Most people take that off.
facts.
And
facts.
where I grew up, Sundays was just a very quiet day.
Mhm.
Quiet day, everyone, because that comes from obviously people going to church on Sundays.
Yeah,
In countries that are predominantly Christian,
Yeah.
you have like a day off and a rest day.
yeah,
So and also working extra hours, extra shifts. Sometimes I take half a day off. So I don't like, and when I compare it to people that are in the corporate world,
Yeah.
it's the complete opposite. Because at the time where everyone's going towards central, into central, I'm coming out of that way. I'm going the opposite way on the Northern Line. So there's no traffic.
Shout out Northern Line. Yo.
Man, like, Richard, what's going on?
What going?
You okay? Our first guest.
Yes, broski. What's happening? Man, like, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, but I just really, what we were just saying, the alternate lifestyles, right? So I was just saying, we're just talking a bit about alternate lifestyles and how, for me personally as a barber, where everyone goes into central London trying to be there at 9 o'clock, living this whole rat race, I actually start at 9:30. So when I leave the house at 9, there's no traffic, and I'm actually doing the reverse of what everyone is doing. Everyone's going to central, being at 9. We start here at 9:30. Most people finish at 5. Traffic starts around 5, 6 in London, I would say. And I finish here at 7:30, and I go home where there's no traffic unless there's crazy roadworks.
You're missing all the rush hour.
Yeah, so that's I guess my alternate lifestyle in a way. Like what I've chosen as my career path has created its own alternate lifestyle almost.
See, so like what we were speaking about is how do we categorize living like that, right? So if we talk about, you know, anything from like the esoteric or something like that, or the things that fall outside of, you know, the normal given topics that people might consider or talk about, whether it's, you know, things touching on the spiritual or the conscious, do you know what I mean? Things like that. Like what does that mean to you? What does that mean to man like Richard?
Well, that whole 9 to 5 thing, so you're in the rat race, basically. So you've got that whole routine, so you're out of rhythm with the whole planet. So when you talk about, if you heard about circadian rhythm, so when the sun comes up, you're meant to get up. When the sun goes down, you're meant to go to sleep. So now we're in this 9 to 5. No one's going to bed when the sun sets. Everyone's up until like, 9, 10, 11. And then you're getting up, 7? Sun's risen about, or 4, or just after 4. So everyone's out of sync already.
Yeah, that's why I thought Richard was also the perfect guest, by the way, Jay. So just to recap on how we met. Richard, how did we meet? Sorry. Is it Sev's podcast?
My first time here was, I was getting Reiki from Sev.
Yeah, big up Sev, by the way. Turkish Delight Sev. That's not, bro.
Big up Turkish Delight,
One of the first people that invited me to like any radio show. And same way like we met and we discovered that last time. It's a similar conversation with Richard. He was the one telling me at the time when you told me about alkaline water years after. It was like not a rebirth of that type of convo. But in that
it resurfaced
lane
again, innit?
where he goes, yo, you need to get onto CMOS. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
You need to get onto like, do you see what I mean?
Right.
Like, and that's why I thought he would be the perfect man to come here. Just to give you a little backstory on that, Jay.
The whole health, like conscious community, I got into that a while back, but it's deep. There's levels to it. So you might talk about like the water, and then I know you know about the water and then all that stuff. Then I was watching the last one. You're talking about distiller and.
See, again. See, listen. He said 2 things, right? Already, he's talked about circadian rhythm. Have I said that right?
Yeah.
Get up on your circadian rhythms. Yeah, you talk about circadian rhythm. And he's talk about water, because in the previous podcast we were speaking about distilled water and how it's beneficial to you, right? So already, just off the bat, we've spoken about how, because he's talking about syncing up with the planet and stuff like that, and how like our relationship is with nature and stuff like that, man. So that's very interesting, man. Like
this whole spiritual thing is about getting back to nature as close as you can get back to it. Because the thing is, right now we've all got shoes on, we're not touching the ground, and there's concrete and roads. Really, we should have our bare foot on the ground, like touching soil.
So that's like earthing, innit?
Yeah. So that's how we're getting minerals into our body and just grounding ourselves, getting rid of all the, I think it's negative ions.
That's correct. Yeah.
Even this thing where if you stand on your head for like a couple of minutes a week, apparently the gravitational pull kind of.
I suppose it would do something. Yeah,
it would do something, and that's why sometimes as a barber I get painful legs standing all day.
Yeah.
So what I do, and a yoga instructor actually told me this at an event in I think it was Haggerston at the time. That she goes to me, put your legs on the wall. Vertically, so all the blood can flow back.
There you go,
again.
go back easier.
Kind of balance things out.
Call that inversions. So I've been doing yoga for about 10 years, actually 10 years plus now. So that's a big part of it. Just
Okay.
inverting the body, because we're always walking around to the
Same way.
the heart is having to pump all the blood from your feet all the way up all the time, and we're always walking or we're sitting down. So at some point, give your heart a rest and just flip the body the other way around.
I'm speaking to you guys on this, yeah, but I am not on this lifestyle at the moment. Like, I know about the concepts, I know how I should be living, but bro, last night I was scrolling on my phone till like 1 a.m. because I get these times where I'm like restless, and
But it's
you know, it's like when I was young,
yeah.
I'll be in part of a football club and do all of these things. When you get older, I don't know, because of work, maybe you come home, you just want to relax. And
Yeah.
this is that. I've kind of lost touch with that type of lifestyle. Like, I do certain things I don't drink fizzy drinks as much anymore. I drink more water in general, but I haven't gone into the depths that you guys might have explored. So for someone like me that finds like restlessness such a big thing,
Oh
what do
my
I do?
word.
I feel like sometimes, if I'm a bit irritated in the evening, let's say,
Yeah.
I want to go back to work and do 2-3 trims.
Got
But
you.
I know that's not really healthy for my body because I need to rest. But at the same time, I like to stimulate my mind all the time. And I feel like living in this rat race type of London.
That stimulation gets addictive.
Yeah.
So it's like you need something to occupy yourself. So in that case, not always the number one rule, take a deep breath. So you're thinking like, I want to do this, or there's nothing going on.
Gee, I've got asthma as well. Big up my ventilator, bro. So no, honestly, like breathing in itself is hard. Like,
Breath work, innit?
it's hard for me as well, you
The
know.
rest of us don't actually know how to breathe properly. You're meant to they call it the yogic breath, but you're meant to breathe in for about 9 seconds.
You're getting a serious gem incoming. I can sense it.
A full breath, like in for 9 seconds, out for 9 seconds.
Gee, I'm not trying to get onto the lady outside, but we were talking about breathing and she was puffing her veins and smiling. I was
Timely. Timely.
Oh my days.
Everyone's on a different level, so
Yeah. So like breathing, I can't do that for 9 seconds.
Do you know what? Someone showed me that they were like, and he said this. Imagine, I saw a clip. Imagine the brother said the exact same thing he said in the exact way he just said it as well. And he showed a technique where I think he closed one nostril and he alternate breathing, and I think same thing 9, and then he did the other one. And he goes, "What you're gonna see, all your airways are gonna open up."
My
And
nose is always blocked, man.
yeah, apparently it's not meant to do that, but he showed how to unblock it and how to get your airways, your sinuses.
yeah, then we can get into mucus, because you got mucus in your head region.
But then we can get into moving outside of London because of all the exhaust fumes in the air cars, man.
That
It goes
can't hurt,
deep.
yeah, that
No,
can't
legit,
hurt.
one time I went to this asthma, I seen Maco laughing as well. Big up. But yeah, I went to it was like an asthma clinician. He said, when you're abroad, do you feel better? And I found that such a deep question. Like, wow, what do you mean? He said a lot of people that suffer severely from asthma actually move abroad for better air.
Yeah, we're in the big smoke. This is London. It's a world city. That's going to affect it.
So the biggest thing is like the sunlight, because normally you're going on holiday to somewhere hot.
Yeah.
And that sunlight, that vitamin D, which if you didn't know is a hormone, it's actually not a vitamin. So all these vitamins that you're buying, all these capsules and stuff, you're not getting vitamin D from. Like, your body's having to work harder
Synthesized.
to get rid of the waste.
So what do we do then instead?
You basically can't put sunlight in the...
It's the sun. You need.
No, I mean,
you need.
if you don't have the sun, then what do you do instead then? Is there like any other natural ways of...
It'll come down to diet.
Okay.
So like mushrooms, they absorb a lot of vitamin D, so you can get it that way. Dark
Leafy green veg.
dark fruits.
Fruits.
Yeah, the veg will do it as well. But
Blackberries, for example.
yeah, the berries, the dark berries, so like black grapes, blackberries, blueberries. That will kind of substitute it the best way it can. But really, it's hard to synthesize sunlight or the sun.
Yeah.
But that's the best way.
The sun is the truth.
The sun is feeding the fruits, and then you can eat that. So
Basically, just stack your money for a holiday and just go out there.
I was telling my
times a
son.
year, no?
I was telling my son exactly what you're saying. Is like the relationship between the energy that we get from like the sun, the plants, and then like animals. Those people who eat like meat and stuff like that. How the energy is transmuted in stages along the thing. I was explaining exactly that to my son. So I was basically saying all the nutrients that we take in is essentially the sun is what we're trying to get. But obviously there's like kind of middlemen or middle steps along the way. So because we ain't sympathizing directly from the sun, you want to go to the next closest one, which is the plants. Do you know what I mean? Like them exactly what you're saying. It's exactly what I said to him. Them dark plants and veg and stuff like that.
And also from a mental point of view, for example, a couple of months ago, I went to Egypt, and like me going to corner shops, and like for example, there was before I speak about the corner shops, to get to certain places, you jump in this minivan, yeah, it's like a little bus. If you're at the back of that little bus, yeah, you pass the money on to the guy in front of you. He passes
That's
on
like
to the
back
guy
home. Yeah,
in
that's
front
like,
of
I
you.
hate
And
that back
apparently
home.
in the
Yeah,
Philippines they do that as well.
yeah, they do it
But
in
for
South
me,
Africa.
that lifestyle really suits me, where everyone's a bit more
Communal.
entrusting.
It's more communal.
Yeah, you can walk around at night without fearing anything and stuff like that.
It's
And I feel
important
like
to be able to
going back
communicate.
home to, obviously, like you guys said, connecting to the sun and stuff is also connecting to the root of values that are a bit deeper rooted than we see today.
There you go,
And I
man.
feel like those two things go hand in hand. Because for me, why? Do you know why it's hard for me to get into like things like yoga, eating healthy and stuff? Because my surroundings is not on that, bro.
It's not
I'm in
conducive.
a barbershop world where, boom, we're tired, drink coffee for a break. If you tell your customer, I'm going to do a quick yoga stretch for 15 minutes or walk around the block, I'm telling you, they'll be like, yo, bro,
I
how long
told.
is that going to take you?
got it.
But if you say to them, yo, I'm going to go for a cigarette break, let's say, that's blessed.
Mhm.
So it's like commonly accepted to not live healthy, and that's the standard. And how do you kind of
Exactly.
find that balance again in a place that where that balance is off? You see it?
You have to have that discipline. I mean, everyone's talking about self-love. That's what you have to have. Like, it's that discipline to care about yourself. So even if the people around you, or it's not deemed like acceptable in society, you have to just do it. Like you're saying, going for a walk. You know how important that is. If you were you're sitting down all day.
Yeah.
Just getting that blood flow, just having a little 5-minute walk.
Yeah.
It's doing so much for you. But the world we living in, like living in the city, you're forced to like work constantly, and not check for yourself until something big happens, then you can't actually work. That's why I get onto you. You had your shoulder problems and that. Yeah. So it's forcing you now to like slow down and realize, wow, what am I doing to myself? Yeah. So when I come and tell you, get onto the fruit, get onto the exercises and stuff like that. So that's what I'm
I do these things, but more in a. I'm very slow. I'm like an old man. You gotta like tell him a couple of times, and then you might listen. I'm still young, but it actually takes me time to do these things. So
we've been conditioned from school.
Yeah. I'm just proud of myself this month.
Like, sit down for like hours. In school and then.
Like, I went to the dentist twice this month. No, once, and I've got an appointment next week. So I'm actually trying to do certain things that usually I don't even have time to do. So nowadays I am trying to just slow down a bit and trying to find myself, my path within that. And like I said, that Egypt trip, the things like the buses, going out at night, calm. Another thing for me that really grounded me is like I'm in a corner shop and there's like Quran playing, and for me that calms me down, bro. And the fact that it was like a reminder of the public to me rather than me having to put it on, it was so much easier. See what I mean? Like for me, for example, when I go back home and there's call to prayer, or you hear the animals in the morning and stuff like that, it's nice. In London, it's just cars all the time and trains. And
well, you're here, innit? That's another thing, is that here in the here and now, with respects to like the past and stuff, you're consciously there now in this moment. You're here now. You're sitting now having this discussion. Do you know what I mean? So right now in this moment, because I think that's what we do sometimes. We look at, you know, we have this notion of past, present, and future. And we might look at different stages in our life and think, I was really on it at this point, or I've been really slow to adopt at this point. But you're only ever really in the now. Do you know what I mean? That stuff is always a bit skewed and a bit biased in terms of how you feel and look about it, innit? As of right now, you're there, innit? Do you know what I mean? Because you're sitting here in the moment, broadcasting this to whoever. And I hope you lot are taking notes, by the way, as well. You need to uncalcify your pineal gland. Is that what it is?
There's a lot you can get into. But yeah, you talk about being in the now, like presence. That's why it always comes back to breathing. Taking that breath, you're forced to slow down. You
force you to be present of yourself in it and take stock of in the moment.
Yeah. So when you do that breath, like, it kind of makes you stop thinking about what was happening before, what's going to happen next. So you just come back to right now.
I do really feel strongly towards that when I do my morning prayer, because the call to prayer in our religion is already it says basically when it's the call to prayer, come to success. So when you've prayed your morning prayers, you woke up early in the morning, you've done that. When I wake up, because I go back to sleep for like an hour or two, I think it's 2 hours, and I feel like I've already achieved
different
something.
vibes in it,
100% different. And I might have had a bad sleep, I might have not had my full 8 hours or how many hours I would have needed to, but I feel good about
Yeah,
myself.
you feel aligned now, innit? You feel tapped in
So
now,
it's
innit?
almost like you got to redefine success
Yeah,
to yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I've completely like a lot. Like that's why I'm willing to be vulnerable with you guys. Yeah, because I'm not here to like, because I can give people the same advice that you guys. Like for example, Richard, I know you live it. I know the things, but I'm not doing it. It's because I focus so much on going, grinding, risk, that one day you kind of wake up, you're like, I wish I woke up healthier and feeling more blessed than having all of this stuff around me that's attached to me. Because it's not really, it's part of who I am, but it's also an attachment of myself. Does that make sense?
Word.
But I guess people that go to the gym, they live a healthy life. I'm not saying everyone that goes to the gym lives a healthy life, but if you could just sit there and feel good, I think that is the mission for me in the future, rather than what's attached to me, barbering, how well is my brand doing, and all of that stuff. That's why this alternate life conversation is very, very important.
So those external forces, right, and everything, they have like they can weigh down on us, innit? And even ourselves, like our own opinion of ourselves and how well we're doing and what success and so on means to us, right? So what I wanted to ask Rich, right, with regards to all of that, how did you take on the state of being or consciousness that you've got now? Like where did it start? What is your origin story? Like how did you become woke? Because I know them boomers must be loving you.
Of all this stuff, is because a saying that I kind of live by, that I got, it will lead on to something you're going to bring up later. I think it's going to lead on to that. But my saying I kind of live by is the love you withhold is the pain you carry.
The love you withhold is the pain you carry. You are being hit upside your head with so many gems. I hope you're taking notes. Run it back one more time.
Yeah, so the love you withhold is the pain you carry. So now everyone's talking about this self-love. It's because they're going through some sort of pain, whether it be physical pain, emotional pain, whatever it is. That means you're withholding love from yourself somewhere. So for me,
why would that be?
It's just you're not caring about yourself, so your body's showing you what's wrong. So say, for me growing up, I had a lot of digestive issues. So then I had to kind of reflect and be like, because I'm eating crap. I'm in McDonald's every day, KFC. So then it's having an effect on my body. And then, so then from that pain, you start to realize, okay, what am I doing to myself? And if you know an author called Osho, I read one book, and it was like the first level of all this spirituality thing is love yourself first. Before you can before you can know yourself. Because you're talking about who were you before the barbering. But before that, you have to start loving yourself to get yourself in a position where you're at peace to even ask that question.
You got any tools for that?
I gave myself. It's so funny that he's saying that. Last night, I think it was just after I spoke to you, I sent myself a message.
All right.
Yeah. In my alarm to wake me up.
Nice. And
it was basically what he's saying. Because you know, sometimes like you might come to a realization.
So what was that message though?
The message was.
Yeah. Was that too inner?
Huh?
Is that too inner to ask?
No, not even. No, it's an important message.
Yeah.
It's exactly what he's basically saying. But the message was, Jay, when you get up, love hard and unreservedly when you get up. Start with yourself when you get up. Love yourself as hard as you possibly can, with as much as you possibly can, and then let that permeate outwards. So your family, your mum, your sister, your child, your nephews and nieces, and then outwards.
But how, guys? That is
that concept called of like gratitude. We have so much that.
That's why I said I forgot. I left that part out. That was in it as well.
That you're not aware of. Like right now, like what are you grateful for right now?
My family. You lot being here.
Amen.
Go on. I'll ask this question. What's the most important thing to you right now?
God.
Amen.
Okay, and then, but the thing is, when I always bring it back to breath.
Yeah.
If I was to take something away from you.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
One thing that you wouldn't be able to. The most essential thing right now.
My mind, isn't it? Because I've heard that when you're only dead when your mind goes blank. By the way, when your mind's gone.
Nah. Yeah, to a degree.
No, you're dead when your mind is dead. Apparently, it's not your heart and that, it's your mind.
No,
it's your brain when your brain is dead.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
And
Eh.
I'm like 110% sure it's the brain.
To your body.
Yeah.
So your body might be dead once your brain dead.
Yes.
But what is
Oxygen.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that oxygen,
Yeah.
air, is the most important thing to you. If I take air away from you right now, you can't do anything.
No. So to be grateful for the air that you're breathing in.
It's the simple things basically. Yeah. So the air, your sight, you can see. A lot of people don't. I've got problems with their sight, and just everything. You got clothes, you got shoes, you got all the kicks we got on. You know, do a crep check, but yeah.
Jeez.
We got so much, so that's gratitude is a big thing. I think that's what you're saying. We call it like a.
As soon as he said that, he actually said the part that I left out that I forgot, and the term I used was be saturated with gratitude when I wake up. So, because I don't know if you have read a book, Think and Grow Rich, right? And it explains to you in the book that sleep, when you're sleeping and when you're in that sleep state, I forgot what state it is, that's when the best ideas, the purest ideas, state of consciousness come to you, right?
Write lyrics, it was
write
at
lyrics,
night.
all of that
I'd
stuff.
have a pen and paper at night, and
right.
It was cold.
Okay,
at night,
so that's what happened, right? And exactly as he has said, I can literally bring up my phone now and show you that I'm not playing that. Exactly word for word what he said. That's what I wrote down. Yeah, and I said.
And
love
bear in
self.
mind, these two have never met each other.
Yeah, so love self, love hard, and be saturated with gratitude, right?
Just journaling, just writing stuff down.
That's it.
Helps, yeah.
Slows you down as well.
Exactly.
You know, and I'll be honest with you, and I'm willing to say this again. When I write any form of poetry and stuff, it's always when I'm in a negative mood. But I never write in a positive mood. My missus one day said, "Oh, why do you never write happy things?" Yeah. Because I feel like when I'm happy, I don't need that. But maybe I do need that. If that makes sense. So I only write, only express. Negativity is my biggest driver.
So you use it to purge.
Me personally, like, there's people. It's funny because last week in the shop we had obviously we're closed today, but last week we had a thing workshop, a high performing team. Yeah.
Okay.
High performing team, and it was about personality types.
Okay.
And everyone had a different
A type, C type, innit?
No, it's more so I'm a protagonist. You might be a diplomat, a debater. That's it. By Myers-Briggs, it took her 20 years to kind of develop this thing because she wanted to understand.
Oh, that's it.
I'll send it to you. We can actually make that a topic.
I think I'm a.
It's big. It's big.
I think I'm a. What did they say? I'm a hero, something like that.
It's maybe a different one. Hero wasn't in there.
Wasn't it?
Logician. I remember debater, adventurer. I'm gonna send it to you. The letters, that one.
I beg you, send me the link.
Yeah, we can actually make that into a main topic as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's our topic. So, but what I realized is other people would find it hard to work in negativity, pressure, and pain. For me, it's the opposite. Negativity, pain, the past, anything painful is my driver. I transfer that into positive energy. That's something I'm very good at.
You transmute it
100%. I come in, I'm vexed. Someone's vexed me. This is that. I come into the shop, bang out a fade.
Productivity,
I fuel myself with that.
Okay.
So it's weird because like negativity is almost still a fuel for me.
I've always said it's not necessarily an evil thing. It's just a different wattage or voltage. It's energy. It's all energy, right? So you're just using that and you're transmuting it to get an end result.
Obviously, when I'm happy,
because you're at peace.
Yeah,
you're just using it as your fuel. So it's like someone's heaped all this negativity on you. You're like, all right, I'm going to use this as rocket fuel to propel you to where you want to go. That's cold.
Yeah, that's the way though. That's kind of the landscape of life. In life is duality, right? So you've got positive and negative. So you're using the negative to get positive. Yeah, that's what you're meant to do.
And like I said, the
negativity, you've got to flip it.
Yeah.
So to recap, you said that what got you along this journey, like you're just saying, to bring it back, is that you said that it came from just a love of self and appreciation of self.
Myself going through like
pain,
physical pain, and then family members getting sick, and then that's emotional pain. So I'm seeing them. I just didn't like it, so that's when I started just researching myself. So I think I like getting knowledge. It's about different things. So I started looking into health, and some of the master teachers like Dr. Layla Africa and Dr. Sebi.
Big up Dr. Sebi though.
Yeah. Big.
Started looking into some of these guys, and that opens up a whole new world. And you realize the medical system that we have faith in, they don't know as much as we think they do, or would hope they do. Yeah. And then my own issues of going to hospitals myself for issues, and then you're realizing the doctors don't know as much as you would hope. Yeah, then you have to go and do your own research, and then you start to figure out how the body works, really.
And where do you find like a tribe eventually that's also in a, like, where do you place yourself in society, like in a place that's not really doing that?
Yeah, because once you get into this lifestyle, you start eating differently. So the places you'll go to will be different, and then you're meeting people that are also on that journey, and then you just connect.
Because that's exactly where I wanted to find it and ask, right? So, because this is the thing, right? Once you come into this is the thing with knowledge, right? It's a type of power, right? So with this understanding that you have, you're now gonna move a certain way, and it's a certain way that might be counter to other people in society, your friends, people in your family. There is an element to it where it's almost like you're kind of like an outsider or an outcast or a black sheep. You're isolated. You're people might look at you as a bit of like, I don't know, this guy's a bit.
Because you can't just go to a steak restaurant and that.
A bit tinfoil hatty, like, do you know what I mean? How do you deal with it?
Invites you to a steak or Nando's, what do you get? The mushroom burger.
I will go.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not feeling that mushroom burger one bit,
people look at
and
me
they still charge you £10 and that for a mushroom burger. Come on, man. No, fair, no, that's my opinion. Also, and I'm gonna be very honest with you, I would love to live that lifestyle, but I feel like my taste buds are not made for it.
That's where the discipline comes in, because the thing is, the more you know, the better you can do things. So the more so I'm just kind of like bombarding myself with this information, and then it's just easier to just move differently.
Because you know the benefits of it rather than.
Yeah, it's a different mind state. So it's like you're eating for the nourishment of your
without
body.
Chicken, bro. That's mad.
Listen.
That was the hardest thing for me to kick. The jerk.
So you like chicken?
Jerk chicken was the hardest thing.
Listen, nobody ate more chicken than me when I stopped. I went cold turkey. Pun intended.
Well?
I'm vegan, yeah.
Vegan. Yeah. You're alkaline, right? Yeah.
Listen, I ate. Let me tell you about how I was dealing with chickens.
Thank you, Yusuf, man.
Do you know what?
Coffee, half a cup, please. Coffee with the the espresso one that you make, the nice one. Yeah.
My chargy, I would love the same, please. Thank you so much, my guy. Bless.
You got juice.
No sugar. I'm sweet.
Am I allowed to have one sugar? I feel like one sugar for me.
I'm sweet enough as it is. No sugar, bro. Safe.
But
it is the worst.
I used to be on 2-3.
Yeah.
I used to be on 2-3. So give me.
It's no judgment.
No. I used to be on 2. I used to be on 2-3.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm reducing a little piece. And also, when I have coffee, I don't have the full cup anymore. I have half.
You're a G.
So
I'll give you.
There are alternatives to what you're doing. So
no, but you see,
agave syrup.
Agave. Holland and Barrett's.
Look for agave syrup or date syrup.
Date syrup. I like date syrup.
Those are the best replacement sweeteners.
Okay.
I'll give people the tip, because a lot of people sugar and things like cheeses and stuff are difficult. I'll give us a very
Holland, bro. I love cheese, bro.
Simple tip, bro. Cheese. I don't know.
Me, you tried vegan cheese, bro. It tastes like soap.
Do you know it is with me? I
had Domino's one time. I was sorry, Jay. Bro, it was very bad.
Listen,
I know it's food and substance.
I've never had. I'm not really. I don't know if I'm really a great example. I've never had that relationship with food like that. Okay. Yeah. Or more so, I've always had the kind of mad willpower and thing where like I can just cut anything off. I don't care how much I like it. I can just go on. Whether it's smoking, whether it is like I'll just, once I made it up in my mind, that's it. Like I've just always had that personality anyway. So with chicken, I used to do weight training, quite intense, like quite heavy. So I was eating, when I was doing that at the height of it, I was eating like 1.5 whole chickens a day, plus
in one sitting.
I'll clap a whole chicken in one sitting, easy, and additional chicken plus all my protein and stuff like that. I was eating. I was the bane of all chickens, bro. Like I was like dark side to chickens, bro. Trust me, yeah. And I stopped overnight. When I learned, just as I made the decision, I was like, no, I'm going to be on this vegan thing.
Research and stuff, the consciousness?
Yeah, because I just researched and I just literally just made the decision. That's it. And that was the hardest thing I've ever kicked. And I only felt like the twang for about a week.
And no fish either for you?
I had absolutely nothing. I literally went cold turkey overnight. Wow. I just cut it off. But I felt it a little bit for a week.
I used to have one customer. I had a customer. He looked unfit. Yeah. And he was...
that what happened?
But he cut out all the chicken, all the meat and stuff. It didn't look good. His skin weren't good.
That happens to a lot of people. They don't know what to do properly, so they'll cut it out, and they're not replacing what they would have got properly. Do you know what I mean? So that's what's happening with a lot of people. So yeah, they would look sickly, and they are sick. Do you know what I mean?
This vegan thing is that's another kind of scam. because it's plant-based food, but the plant you're talking about is some factory where they're mass producing it.
Yeah.
So it's not really food like that.
Yeah, so you do
they're
it for your own
misleading
health, not
it.
the consciousness of the of animals and stuff. Because what bugs me sometimes is, look, I believe that God created the animals to serve Him and also to serve humans. Okay, but plants also have life. So
Yeah.
when people get overly conscious about, oh, the animals have life, I don't want to kill them. This is that. Well, when you cut a plant off, you also
Shall I tell
killing
you?
some sort of life, no?
Shall I
So
tell you what
for
my
you guys, is it more about your own health, or is
Shall-
it like you being conscious about the beings around you, such as the animals?
It's both though. It's both, but that's where when religion comes into it, it gets a bit techie then, because religion's telling you to do one thing, but then using your common sense of, I was looking at like, so you like, the Quran might say what the animals are for us, yeah, to do
The
what,
plants and everything.
but then why do we not eat dogs? And like you might eat chicken or cow,
Yeah.
but what's special about a dog that you wouldn't eat it?
I guess God's also given us the brain and the sense to not eat certain animals because they're not as healthy as others. And also it's a test for the human beings. But I don't want to get too deep into that.
You're not allowed to eat pork.
Pork,
right?
pork. Yeah, but there's a lot of things around pork anyway. And also being excessive with anything is not recommended in a religion anyway. Do you know what I mean? But I would like to say,
I'll tell you.
it says, give this man a raise. Give this man a raise. This shit is getting what do you call it? Now, but my thing is this, yeah. Regardless of the religious thing, I feel like some people get too conscious about, okay, you're taking the health away of an animal, but then a plant lives too. Yeah?
I can't.
So you
I
take out
can't.
the plant from the
I
earth.
can't. I can't answer.
Levels of consciousness, like
Yeah.
comparing a plant to an animal.
Why though? I don't get that.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what my thoughts on it is. Yeah. I'll tell you what my thoughts on it is. When I first ever became vegan, yeah, it was specifically for my own health benefits.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less about the animals. Like I said, I was chicken's bane, right? I couldn't care less. It was simply just because I made the health switch.
Yeah.
Years and years later, while still being vegan, I've had a consciousness switch where I'm like, no, I actually care about the animals in the sense of like, I feel like we are now in a place where I don't have to eat you. So whether I could or I should, once upon a time, I might have needed to. I feel like in 2023 now, I actually don't need to. So if I don't need to, I'm gonna spare your life, even if that means you're gonna go on and you're gonna provide sustenance to anybody else. I don't judge anybody else. I don't feel that better than anybody else for not doing that. I just think for me, for my path, for my growth, for my understanding of what has been endowed to me and showed to me, that I don't need to do that, and I'm catered to and just fine without having to do it, because a lot of these animals, they suffer really unnecessarily when they're being killed and slaughtered, and it's not good at all, right? With regards to the plants, a lot of the stuff that I eat are fruits and stuff, right? They're roots, they're fruits and stuff like that. So those are the parts of the plant that are given by the plant. You understand?
It keeps giving.
So it keeps giving.
Okay.
It's a fruit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's part of the life cycle of the plant to be consumed, to give, because it has seeds within it and stuff, and the plant is designed to do that.
You can argue that, let's say you have an animal that keeps giving birth to calves, and the lineage sort of still continues in its own way.
Bless you, my guy. Bless you, my guy. It is part of it.
Man.
Thank you, my guy. Bless you so much, man.
Bro.
Yeah, like it's part of the it's part of.
Is that not a cycle in itself?
It is. It exactly is.
You know, it's all...
So all that part of the food chain is brilliant and it's beautiful, and that is part of life. That is life itself,
but we're
right?
part of that as well, too.
We are part of that. But what I'm saying is, I've now reached a point
that you don't have to anymore,
that I don't have to.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? So whilst I don't have to, I'm going to.
I do wish I was a bit more like balanced.
A happier life is a simpler life.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. Why are you
doing it? You see what I'm saying? I don't need to eat it. Yeah.
There's alternatives that you won't be causing pain to something.
There you go. You see what I'm saying? So once you become like ascended conscious being, I can kind of step out of that now.
And maybe balance it a bit more as well. Because I'm not going to lie, every time you guys speak, I learn from you guys.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that for me, I would personally feel bad having chicken or beef and stuff.
No,
I do have days where I'm like, I just had a good veg meal, and during work, I just feel stronger. So when I have carbs and I'm standing all day at the barbershop, I do feel a type of way.
It's good for you as well. It gives you a gut a break.
It's a big part of this whole spiritual kind of path as well. I mentioned gratitude, but also compassion. So I might know all this stuff and I'm living my life a certain way and I know it's good for me. So I might look at you, some people might look at you and be like, oh, you're eating this and you're not doing the right thing. So they might try and force you or make you be a certain way. But you got to have compassion and be like, that's right. The level you're at. That's it. You know, that's how you can function. So let you live.
That's it.
And that's why I appreciate having conversations with those people. I don't like discussing stuff with people that don't have that flexibility almost in their mind. You know, it's very important.
Like, do this or else.
Yeah, it's very important. Because then I can be honest. I'm not going to...
As human beings, we're very binary in terms of how we look at things. It's either this or it's either that. It's either... Do you know what I mean? We tend to look at things... Yeah, I guess allegorically or whatever, or metaphorically, we have two eyes. So it's almost like how we look at things. It's this or that. It's black and white. It's right. It's wrong. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But once you reach a certain level of conscious maturity, you understand that people and things, they can only act on the level of consciousness they're at. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So the best you can do is to freely give information, freely give a choice and make them aware of the choice. And it's up to them whether they take it or not. And they will blossom and bloom in their own time. Do you know what I mean? And
you mentioned like duality. The goal we're trying to get from duality to oneness. So that oneness meaning, I don't really see a separation between me and you. Like we might be boys, but in a sense, I kind of see you as myself. So I wouldn't have a go at you for doing. It's like like you got a child. Child does something wrong or naughty. You don't beat up the child. Like you just guide them to do better.
Cultivate almost. Or is it cultivate the right word?
Yeah, cultivation is part of it. Yeah, because it's the illusion of separation. So once you see, and that's what we spoke about in the last podcast. Once you see yourself in all things, i.e., all people and stuff like that, you tend to have a lot more understanding and patience and stuff like that because you literally see yourself in the person, you know, that you're speaking to, or the animal, or the plant, or whatever it is.
That's what we call enlightenment. When you see everything as yourself.
The current.
So it's hard to do bad things or do harm to another person because you know it's kind of you're doing it to yourself in a way, and then that's the whole karma comes into it. Because anything I do to you is kind of coming back to me because really there's no separation between us.
So that's
the next level.
It gets deeper and deeper. There's many levels. So we spoke about where we've come from. We spoke about how things are and how we relate to others and so on. Where do you think we are going as a people? How do you think things are going to look like? Like, for example, if we were just to time skip right now, if we were just to phase and we're 175 years in the future, where do you think we're going to be?
This is another deep one because we're entering the age. Well, we're already in the age of Aquarius, right? So you're seeing a lot of mad things happening. There's the whole procession of the earth, right? So the whole there's like a 25,000 year cycle, and we're at the end of that cycle now. So you're seeing a lot of all the mad things happening. So you had COVID, got all the wars going on,
earthquakes, like we spoke about.
There's a lot of stuff happening. So it's like we're coming to the end of like a cycle. So that's why people are now starting to wake up and realize, oh, there's something going on. So it's a bit hard to tell what's coming up next. We could go into a lot of things, but might have to have a part two.
It gets deeper. Like I don't think you people are aware. Maybe you are actually. Let me give you more credit. You people are aware of just how many gems you're getting dropped right now. So you said, what was the time period to?
20. Technically, it's like 24,900, but we call it 25 to be.
This is the dawn of the age of Aquarius. So this is like the age of knowing. So it's like people's minds and hearts are more geared towards knowing, as opposed to before it was the age of what Pisces, which was like what belief, stuff like that. So religion was really strong. Religion was a governing force. Believing in things like, you know, like how you'd believe anything your government says or whatever like that. They'll tell you something, you just took it as gospel truth because they're authority figures and stuff like that. So we're kind of moving away from that into the age of people coming into knowledge and finding out for themselves and sharing information freely.
Like belief served its time. Like the whole religion and belief served its time. So now you're seeing more people come away from religion a bit more and try and get into. So now you're hearing more people say I'm spiritual as opposed to I'm religious. I'm this domination.
For me, that's where the issue is. Personally, for me, I feel like everything that's good, let's say interim fasting.
Yeah. It's been but this is what I mean by religion though. This is what I mean by religion. When I say religion, people think I'm only speaking about
monotheists.
Yeah, I'm not speaking about that only. That's not the whole remit of religion. What I'm speaking about religion when I say is that people are dogmatic in terms of just belief.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned with the government, do you know what I mean? So they would say things to you and you just believe.
And now
that's
we're
religious.
actually looking a bit more critical into it, you mean? Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's religious. That's
thinking.
Right.
I think that's good then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I mean, that we're moving from that state of being
where
into more
critical thinking. And it's also the share of knowledge, isn't it? So technology,
the freely share of knowledge.
Because back in the day, people had to come together. I know in Baghdad at the time, they would have all the Greek mythologists and stuff coming into the libraries, and then the Muslims will sit down with them. And they have all these different people explaining all these different things and discussing it. Which is to me beautiful. And now you don't have to go to a library somewhere in the Middle East. You can actually do that online by
technology is falling in line with that, because that technology is serving the will of the people. There's a will for us to be connected. There's a will for us to share ideas.
Personally, I personally feel like I need, in this day and age, for myself, religion the most. Because where values are on the low,
it gives you structure.
It gives me structure and peace. Really,
like with religion now, you've got your books. So you've got a structure to it. The whole spiritual thing now, there's no real set kind of
definitive form to it.
Let's say for someone like yourself, would you categorize yourself as like spiritual?
Yeah.
Is it like is it harder because you need to almost create your own book?
We're kind of recreating it from scratch. That's where the hard thing comes into it. So that's it, gathering all this knowledge, and knowledge of yourself. So the meditation comes into it. So you're kind of writing your own sort of holy book.
Okay, interesting.
So that's where the problems come up, because everyone's gonna have their different idea of what it should be. So we're in the early stages now. But now for you, you've already got your Quran. So you've already got it set out. So for you, it might feel like it's safer.
And I'm genuinely, not because I was raised in a Muslim family, I'm genuinely in line with what I get from it personally. So I'm super at peace with it. And that's why nowadays, like when someone has another opinion, blah, 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 I take that with ease, because why? I know that for me, if this is the right thing, this is the truth. Does that make sense? For me, that makes sense. So I don't feel like I need to impose it on anyone, or I can listen to a guy talking about spirituality in other ways and this is that. I'm very easy with that, because I feel quite at peace, because that's why I'm at my best. Like for me, the best month in the year, and it's coming up soon, is Ramadan, bro. That's me. I'm the best version of me, bro. I'm conscious about how I speak, how I eat. I'm just conscious for that 1 month. That's like my boot camp.
That's beautiful.
Plus everyone's doing the same thing.
That helps.
You're all on the same thing at that time.
And that's why I would find it hard to, obviously, to big up you for actually trying to like create your own story, I guess. But I would not be able to do that, because I need that support.
You like the framework.
Friday prayer. I love the Friday prayer when I get time. To go Friday prayer, and the brothers are next to me. And we're all praying the same direction.
It's powerful,
bro. It's so powerful.
Powerful, beautiful. I know.
Sometimes, bro, the guy's talking about anything, and everyone's just sitting there. I'm just getting emotional for no reason.
Listen, I can tell you some stories, man. I can tell you some experiences that I've had, but that's a whole other.
So we get into the current.
Let's get into the current. So current, let's get into the current events, right? So current events. We spoke about, the tragic events that happened in Syria and Turkey and stuff like that. But I thought we'd keep it something. I don't know if this is more lighthearted. I guess it can be. We can add levity to it.
Imagination, isn't it?
It's definitely, it could be. It's definitely a curveball. It's definitely left and left again. It is the topic of UAPs. And if people don't know what UAPs are what used to be called UFOs.
So what changed it?
It's just the government, the US government's.
What does it stand for?
Unidentified aerial phenomena.
Unidentified
aerial phenomena. I think they changed it because there was a lot of stigma around UFOs. Okay. So again, it goes to that whole tinfoil. It could be a UFO. No, here we go, like that kind of thing, innit? So I think they just switched up the terminology. Basically, what I wanted to talk about is that the US government has officially disclosed to the world that UAPs exist. That's
a while back.
Yeah, that was 2017. Yeah. So that doesn't mean that they're saying that aliens from the Pleiades exist. They're not saying that. They haven't officially said that yet. They just said unidentified aerial phenomena are real, innit? So what do we feel about that? What is our stance? If that happened in 2017 and more is coming, and you look at some of these accounts, right?
Jay, allow it, man. Look,
And-
every time I hear, look, it's always from America. There's always one guy from cowboy from Texas.
No.
Now that's for me. Bro, you've never seen a guy from Yorkshire or something, yeah, saying, "Oh, last night I saw a UFO in there." It's always been in America, cuz you've seen it.
That's the conception. A lot of it is there. Do you know why? Because the culture. This is the cultural thing.
Yeah.
That's when we look at a cultural lens.
Yeah.
The culture is there. The US is a big cultural driver.
Yes.
Right. So when we think about things like that, we normally think about it coming from the US accounts, US stories. They have sites like
But have you
Area
ever seen
51.
anything else from anywhere else?
Absolutely.
Africa, Middle East, and stuff. People have seen
lots,
stuff. Yeah?
lots. There's
There's
lots.
a big thing in Argentina, right?
Argentina, Chile, Brazil. Brazil's a
So
hotbed.
this is things that are in the air and they just look different.
And in the sea, and all over.
But how do you know humans haven't built that though?
We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know. So that's why they're unidentified aerial phenomena. What I will say is it's very, very, very interesting, and it's one of those topics that interface with. You think that you got life figured out, and you think that you've seen all there is to see,
100.
and then all of a sudden, you come face to face with like, hey, yo,
something mad looking.
because I can tell you, listen, I've had my own.
Yeah,
bro.
You're gonna share that with us today.
I can share with you.
Yeah?
I've
I've got 2 points on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, once again, going back to because my framework is usually religion about things that I don't know.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
For me, has created the heavens and the earth.
Yeah.
And there could be other dimensions, and right. We believe in heaven and hell. Heaven and hell are not here. We can't see it.
Yeah.
And also, we believe that in this world there's the humans, and we believe there's the jinns.
Yeah.
Okay, they live here, and we can't see the jinns, but they live among us. So I already believe there is some, if you want to call that an alien concept.
That's what helps you, because
100%.
you've
I
already
used to be
got a
scared at
concept
night,
of
by
that.
the way.
Yeah.
Because I knew in my religion there's these other things that live among us,
that are like
and they're
intelligent.
made out of different. Because us as humans, we're made out of clay.
Yeah.
They are made out of a smoke fire. I'm quite sure.
Yeah.
So we can't see them,
Yeah.
but they can interact with us. And same way humans will have judgment. They have their own judgment too. Now, when I grew older, when I was young, you know, when you go to the toilet and stuff, you're a bit shook. Have you guys ever experienced that
of
when you were a
course.
bit younger, maybe?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I have anyway.
Yeah.
Later on, I started respecting that these things live among us. Does that make sense? So it made me less scared.
You made your peace with it.
Yes, like last time we spoke about acceptance. I think that peace with it is important. So I don't want to say there's nothing else out there anymore. Do you know what I mean? But I do believe that humans use certain tools and tactics to kind of scare humans. So
Absolutely.
I've always had this personal conspiracy.
Yeah.
If one day, let's say, the UK gets attacked from the sky and they blame it on aliens, then they can't say this country did it and that country did it. Does that make sense? I've always felt funny about that. And also my last point on that is the scientists that in the World War II, they used to do some funny things with humans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a human creation. Same way we had that. Was it Sherman? Was it a cow? The cow Herman Sherman. Was it a cow or a sheep years ago?
Oh, Dolly the sheep.
They cloned it, right?
Yeah.
So if they can do that, what else are they up to? So
It's funny you should say that, because there is discourse around that, and what they call EBTs, extraterrestrial biological entities, EBEs, and that. But they're saying that they're a type of clone, and they're not necessarily from another planet.
right.
They're not. They're just an
Right.
entity that was possibly grown here.
Yeah.
Might have some alien involvement, but they could be terrestrial. It's just something that you're not used
And
to.
that's why movies are mad. Like I always feel there's some sort of what do you call that? Not cliffhangers, but like some sort of
Some
hints.
pre.
Yes, it's like the chambers where
Yeah.
embryos are getting
Yeah,
grown and then they
yeah.
get born and blah 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 blah. I feel like that comes from something, you know.
Listen, man. I told you we're gonna go left and left again. Richard, what you make? What you make?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in the movies. I think that's how they kind of put it into your psyche, because all this stuff, they're getting the stories from somewhere. Right? But yeah, there's a lot going on that we're not aware of. So I think because they've known about UFOs for time.
Yeah.
And I think the technology that they have now, because just look at like electric cars. They may have electric cars back in like early 1900s.
And if they would have seen one 100 years ago where you had all the horses outside, everyone would start bugging out.
Yeah.
That's my argument for maybe it is made by them. Maybe this one doesn't have wings like a plane does, and it's just round and spins.
Absolutely. I'm
If
sure
Samuel
at times.
Weir
I'm sure
was
there's an
doing this
element.
little
Of
drone thing.
yeah. Imagine seeing it, because when you find, imagine seeing the drone
Yeah.
in 1991. What you'd make of it, and it's
You'll bug
nighttime.
out.
Let's say it's nighttime or something
You'll
like that. You
bug
see
out.
that? Yeah. You'd be like, what the? You know
What is that?
Yeah.
And it's got a little What's that thing called? You put a
Light.
projector.
Yeah, it's
And now it's
projecting
projecting
imagery.
a dragon from the sky.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's not mad. It's just a projector, and now it can project the dragon.
What would you make of that?
Do you see it?
Because the thing is, you don't have the terminology for some of those things. So some of the things that people were seeing in the 60s and 50s, they don't know what a hologram is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So some of the things, it's like they didn't have the vocabulary to properly express what it is they were witnessing. But now we kind of have those concepts a bit more. We know like what night vision is. We know what thermal optics are and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Also, the fact that I don't know if it's the BlackBerry, the technology behind it, but I heard at the time that decades before that, they already had that technology. You can text someone and stuff like that.
No, there's a word for it. There's a word for it, that when they have technology
and it's
for
hidden.
decades and it's just kept back and hidden along this.
And we were speaking about this in the car as well, about other things.
MP3s and stuff like that.
They had that from way before. So they probably have so many things in the pipeline that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
And this could be one of those things.
Yeah, I'm sure that is at the very least, a aspect of it. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
There is always this secretive thing that I feel like we don't know.
What about you, Richard? Have you ever experienced or seen or?
I'm still trying to hear about your story as well,
bro.
No, not directly. I've just heard a lot of things, but I've never actually experienced anything myself. Well, what was your thing?
My one. I'll give you the boring one.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Because like I said, with this information, this is the thing about information, right? This is the thing about information. Not all information that you can get, right? You have to be kind of responsible with information. I could tell you what it is, but all it's going to do is muddy the waters. Because sometimes these things are so out there, you're going to be thinking to yourself,
people start looking at you different.
Right.
Yeah.
And then now the information that I'm going to present later on won't be received well because a bias is set in. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Just be unapologetically yourself.
Facts.
Oh, that was difficult.
No, absolutely facts, right? I'll tell you one.
Yeah, we're here just.
I'll tell you one, and this fits in. This wasn't even long ago. This was like maximum a month ago. Maximum. This wasn't long ago. I woke up and I just had the urge, because these times I was having real problems sleeping. So I just had the urge, something told me, go outside, go get some fresh air, go outside. I went outside. I looked up in the sky. So when I'm looking up, because I always sky watch anyway, as I'm looking up, I'm looking at the stars and I'm looking at the constellation of Orion, right?
Okay.
And out of the constellation of Orion, one of those stars just started moving, right? So I'm looking up and I'm like, I know this ain't happening, like, obviously not, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It starts moving. It weren't one of the stars. It was a star-like light that just moved. And I don't know whether it came from there.
Yeah.
That's just when.
And it wasn't a falling star or anything.
It wasn't a falling star, because I've seen falling stars, I've seen shooting stars. I know it was literally it just looked like a star.
Yeah.
Moving at a steady pace, just going like that, right? Now that could be anything. It could be a quote-unquote satellite. It could be an aircraft. It could be whatever. I still don't know what it was. I just know that I saw that thing. And this thing was so high in the sky, just from me looking at it and being able to clap eyes on it, I know that it was flying way higher than any airplane flies. I don't know how to properly convey that, but I knew it was super high up. Like, do you know what I mean? And the pace, it wasn't moving crazy fast, but it was covering quite a big distance of sky.
Which in the air, that's very
means
fast.
It must mean that thing was
fast.
really moving.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And it was going. And then I made a note of the time. I made a note of the direction. I made a note of everything, right, that I was seeing. I thought, okay, that's crazy.
Indiana J.
Yeah, it happened again. I saw a second one. Same thing. So a second one. Made a note of the time.
Around the same time? Or?
Around the same time.
What?
I got up, went outside, but I had a strong urge to get up and go outside. Just get up, go outside, look up. Third time it happened. 3 of them. Right? And I thought to myself, that is so strange that I had that urge to come up and see that. And I still don't know what it was. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what it was. More than anything, right? It wasn't the fact of what I saw. It's how I saw it. It's the strong urge to get up and go outside and look. It's not so much what I saw. It's not that, because this was just a dot. Do you know what I mean? But I can't explain to you how clear of a impulse it was to get up now, go outside and look up. Do you know what I mean? And then that's what I saw. 3 of them. Just peachish, orangish starlight, just like any other star, but just up in the sky like
moving.
that. Yeah, just moving.
Yeah, there's a lot you could go into with that one.
Right.
But there's some stories of like before you took this life, you might have been up there. That might be your people, and you were kind of sent here. And then there's a part of you that kind of relates to them. So you heard them kind of speaking. That's what urged you to go outside. That's kind of some of the stories that
I'm going to tell you something. Now that you've said that, I feel comfortable to say something, right?
unlocked something.
I'm going to tell you something. When I was this is young. This is like first moments of life, right? This is like real young. I'm a baby, right? I remember I've always had this memory, right? That I remember I was in like my cot and I was outside on I don't know if you don't know what a veranda is back home. I was outside, so I think I was left out on the veranda, right? And the sun was shining. And I remember looking up at the sun and having a conscious knowledge that me and the sun are not, there's a link between me and the sun. Like, we're not separate. Like, I had a conscious knowing that, like, I'm looking up at the sun, but the sun is looking down at me.
Yeah.
And at one time, I'm going to look down at myself and see myself down here.
Wow.
But right now, I'm looking up.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm going to look like it's a loop,
Yes.
kind of in time kind of thing like that. I had
Yeah.
that. So when I'm hearing him say that kind of thing,
I
like,
feel like you used to be there, looking down.
now when I say used to, it could mean, because when you say used to pertains to the past, right? It was like it was both. So it's like if it's a circle, just another time. So it's like so it's like yes. If you say did I say used to, I'll say yes. I used to be up there looking down, but now I'm saying I will be up there looking down. But it's equally both at the same time. It's like that kind of knowing. You see what I'm saying?
I have a strong relationship with the moon, you know.
You see what I'm saying?
It really, I don't know. It's just a feeling I get. However I'm feeling is just multiplied. So if I'm feeling creative, I get overly creative. If I'm feeling happy, it just multiplies. And that's where even when they say lunatic, it comes from the lunar eclipse.
Yeah.
The whole werewolf thing.
Yeah.
We actually have a relationship with the moon.
That's hype.
It's
That's
deep.
hype. Yeah,
and
it does.
also, sorry if I'm going too deep, but the lady's menstrual cycle, I've heard that.
Yes, linked here.
It's linked to the moon.
Yeah.
So, and if the sea is linked to the moon,
All of
and
these
we're
things.
made out of water, we also have a gravitational pull.
All of
with
these
the moon,
things have an effect.
It's
Yeah.
mad. It's mad.
I want to speak to people in aviation because I know they be seen. I know they know some things. Like I know they know some things. Like,
You're aviation man, yeah. Okay.
I know they know some
Maco
things.
behind the cameras, aviation. Yeah.
Listen, shut up.
And then, is the Earth flat or round?
Yeah.
All right. Wait. Oh, you have proof.
Oh yeah, it's proof.
Okay.
And you can see the curvature. And the thing you mentioned about the lights, I think you're speaking about the International Space Station, because I've had the same thing, and I have pictures of it.
Big. Okay, now watch this. When you saw in these pictures, where were the pictures taken from? What part of the plane?
What part of the plane? The cockpit.
And it was round. You saw the curvature.
The whole like round. So
Okay.
you can see the clouds going around, the sunset, everything.
Big. Okay,
Right.
cool.
We can make that another topic another
that's
time
another
as well.
one. Yeah.
Shall we go to the lighter one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's bring ourselves literally back down to earth. Let's bring us down.
There is a link as well
We've
because
been
when
floating around.
when we spoke about alternate lifestyle,
Yeah.
one thing I didn't mention is I always have felt the urge to connect to my younger me, the child in me. So
Very important.
me playing football when I do go to Power League, when I do have time,
Yeah.
when I don't feel too tired, and when I force myself, that's when I feel the best.
Yeah.
And this is why I enjoy what I'm doing in terms of risk and stuff. It's basically I'm coloring my own book.
That's
if that makes
hype.
sense.
That's hype.
So everything that I do here is like the younger me.
Yeah.
And one thing that I missed in that is obviously my lifestyle from when I was a kid, which was games,
Let's go.
which was games outside,
Let's go.
playing tag,
Let's go.
hide and seek.
Not now,
So
ninja.
some of it I'm still very much in touch with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like as I'm getting older, I'm 32 now, and I should like be dressing a bit more mature. If
Yeah.
anything, more recently I've been like being a bit more open with it, like trying to do more colors rather than just the same trackie all the time. I'm trying to slowly
Let's
get
go.
back to my
Express, man.
and my expressing myself.
Your
So
younger
who
self.
was that as a kid?
You're getting really in touch to your younger self. It's very important to cater to your younger, your Your inner child.
Yes.
I feel like I do that really well.
And that's where our next top three comes from.
Okay.
And I know you are big into the gaming, and
Yeah.
Jay used to do this game podcast as well himself.
Big.
So this is a big boy gamer. I went to his house once, he had to shape
Yeah.
up his beard,
Yeah.
and I see all these little games and toys, and I was like, yeah, this is hard. No, it is hard. It is hard.
Yeah.
So the question was your top three. Last time we did a different top three, but
Yeah.
your top three consoles of all time.
Home consoles, yeah.
Yeah. Let's start with our guest. Shall we start with our guest?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so top three
Mm.
video game consoles. This is our top three segment. Okay, so go, yeah, all right, so go on, fire up.
I have to go back because I'm not a big gamer, so all the kind of PlayStations, I was never got into that much. I'm gonna have to go back. So probably the first one for me. This might be going back too far for some people. Amiga 500.
What a done.
Commodore
It's
Amiga
good.
500.
Where's it? I don't know this one. You know.
Yeah, he went
This
live,
is
boy.
before Atari times and thing.
That's after.
Amiga 500, yeah.
That's the 90s, 91.
Never seen this.
Did you ever remember Saturday morning TV, right? Do you ever remember when they had those? You could call in to play games.
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
phone.
yeah.
You know, it had that troll on like the train tracks, and the troll was like,
Oh yes, yeah, with that, I don't know what. Yeah, yes, bro, yes. He's unlocked some dread memories, man. Yes, bro.
That's an Amiga 500.
Wow,
game.
I'm gonna look that up, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up.
Jeez.
All right.
That one.
Number two.
That was the first one. The second one, even though I never had this, it's just a magical. It was a magical time back then when these consoles were coming out. Sega Master System.
Let's go. Yeah, that's like.
Yeah, I said because when we had we didn't have cash converters, but most of the shops we had back then was it Tandy or like Curry's? I don't know if Curry's is about, but there was some shops I've got. Yeah, that's where I got one of my consoles from.
Was it called ACAX? Was that there at the time? CAX. It wasn't there.
Nah, that's
Because I wasn't here in the UK
that's
in those
too
days.
useful. But basically, I just remember going into one of the shops and just seeing it just laid out, and I'm like, this is sick. I need that. I never actually got to that. I never got that one, but the next one, which will be my number three, it probably might be number one actually. But Sega Mega Drive 2. The 2 is important. But that was the first console I ever had. And I got that from Woolworths, so yeah. People don't know about Woolworths.
People ain't ready for
I
Woolworths,
know the younger
man.
generation's not feeling this already. They're like, what? We got a PS5?
No, that's why it's good to do this.
PS5 for you, yeah?
It's PS5, yeah. My G. See, this is why it was important to do this because we can see generationally how it stacks up in it. He said Amiga, you know.
Like early millennials.
Yeah,
They got
yeah.
back a bit further, but you talk about games now.
Yeah, any further back, they'll be using typewriters, man. Gaming on that, innit?
Probably the biggest game is Street Fighter. The Street Fighter 2, that's like if you ask me a game, you know what time it is.
Dun 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 dun. I think it looks weird. I'm not sure which one it is.
That looks like Street Fighter 2 Special Edition.
It does, doesn't it? But it is two. It is two. Special Championship Edition.
Special Championship.
I bought this in Camden, by the way. There's a shop.
Right. He hit the nail
Camden
on the head.
Basement it used to be.
Okay.
Yeah,
Swear.
it came with a briefcase. It came with everything, man.
Swear
I bought
down.
it not long ago. £80.
Dun,
Came with 2 games.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, I have it.
dun, dun, dun.
We'll play sometime.
Get that in the shop, yeah.
I did, but then none of these youths wanted to play.
I remember
But imagine, yeah, I'm trying.
my youths wanted to play.
I had Mortal Kombat. Yeah, no, they wanted to play.
They were
but
running
generally,
it. I still got the
It's
pictures.
just there, and I'm like, well, like, why is no one
Do you know what it
playing,
is?
bro?
They're not. This is one thing I've always said.
Okay.
This is a legendary game. That game is legendary. That's one of the best. That's one of the best film adapted games of all time.
Jeez.
The Lion King.
Big up, Lion
It was
King.
hard as
Thank
nails.
you.
Let's take a look. Yeah. Look how the cases were, man.
Let's see if Lion King is inside. It might be something else.
Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me
yeah.
let me check.
I have a
first,
feeling it might be
see
something
if
else.
it's safe.
Like the cartridge.
Okay, there you go.
It is Lion King, yeah?
Yeah, it's the Lion King.
Big.
Can I do honorable mention to Moonwalker?
Big. I was just chatting
It's a
about it
big
yesterday.
game.
Awesome game. Michael Jackson one, innit?
Jackson's Moonwalker.
What about you, Jay?
Oh, for top 3 consoles?
Yeah.
See, I go back and forth with this all the time. All right. Third, the SNES.
SNES, yeah.
The SNES, man. I think the SNES is the one that.
Was that Smash Bandicoot one?
Nah,
Yeah,
just
Smash
before Super Nintendo.
Okay.
I think that was the one that got me into actually being
Was SNES
a gamer. So
the
4
Batman
buttons.
looking one.
Nah, it was. Is it a Batman looking? So it's like this. It's like
The grey.
grey controller.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
With the maroonish
D-pad.
buttons. Were they maroonish?
Nah, you see, in this country, one was yellow, one was blue, one was green, and one was
Yeah.
red,
that
I
one.
think.
Okay.
Maroon.
Yeah.
Let me superimpose a picture of this.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna edit. Yeah, we're gonna edit. More editing for him to do. Yeah. Super Nintendo.
That's your number 3.
Because that's the one that got me. I think I was into gaming,
Yeah.
but that's the one that locked me in it.
Okay.
Like, yeah,
Big.
this is big. Like, I really like this,
Yeah.
innit?
What was your game?
I think the one that I love Street Fighter 2. The thing is, what I really think about that time is that I don't think I was good at any games, man. I think I just used to like them. I think my older cousins used to batter me at
No,
Street
but if
Fighter.
you play it now, by the way, they're a lot
Yeah.
harder, you know.
I always say that them games are hard,
They're hard, you know.
man.
So at the time, you're
Bruv.
probably better than you are now. By the
Oh
way.
my days,
Better
them
than mine. They
games
are
are
hard.
flipping dread.
That's what people remember our older siblings.
Yeah, just working us, innit? Mercilessly, innit?
Yeah.
Dreading us. Not even trying to like help us get into the game. Just
Yeah.
getting kudos off us, innit?
That's why I like the.
No, my brother was. No, he was dread properly. He would turn his back.
And take the making it bare Mickey taking. You see what I'm saying?
Turn his back on me. Play me with his back to the TV.
Self-esteem
and
hitting
still
rock
batter
bottom.
me.
You see, do you know what? That's why I think that our generation is mad resilient. Do you understand the liberties that we went through, bro?
No
Like,
cheat codes as well.
are you hearing that?
No cheats.
People taking the
No GTA cheats, bro. Yeah.
none of that.
You start over again. When you
No online
Streets of
guides.
Rage. Was it
No
Streets of
online
Rage?
guides.
Streets of Rage, bro. After a couple of times, you're done.
You're done.
Restart the whole thing.
I remember one time, was it Streets of Rage? Was one of them games there, whether it's I think it was Streets of
Golden
Rage.
Axe as well.
Golden Axe.
When
Listen,
done is done.
bruv, I fell out with my bedroom over Streets of Rage, bruv.
Oh.
Do you know what happened? We're playing Streets of Rage. We get to the final boss, yeah? He's been dying the whole time. I've been carrying the team, yeah, on my back. We get to the final boss. Obviously, because I'm carrying him, yeah. I think we share lives or something like that. So if we get 5
when
lives,
there's an apple or a chicken, yeah, and you're almost dying, and your boy goes and gets a chicken or the apple. So
he's doing that, but I'm letting him do it because I'm carrying him, right? So I'm letting him do it. Watch what this snake does, yeah. Watch what this is the biggest snake, yeah. We get to the final boss, right? I'm on my last legs at this point, yeah. He's got life, yeah. The final boss actually asks you, do you want to join me? You can come join me, innit, yeah? He asked me first, yeah? I goes, no, I ain't joining you, whatever, yeah? He asked my bedroom. My bedroom said, yes, innit? Snake. My bedroom snaked me, yeah? And if one of you says yes, you have to fight the other, innit? So,
He left you on your ones.
he left your bro.
is he still in your bedroom? That's the big question.
Listen to how I started the story. I fell out with him.
Oh, that was it.
Listen, we had to fight each other, yeah.
Love.
And he beat me in it, yeah. Bro, I can't express to you how frustrated I was, yeah. So I'm carrying this bread only for him to come get to the last boss, snake me, fight me, kill me, and then that was it. That was it. We never completed the game. That was it. Done.
That was SNES, you said, yeah?
That was around them time SNES, yeah.
Was that your number 3 or 2?
That was my number 3.
3.
Can I celebrate quickly before we go on?
Cool, bro. Yeah, let's run that. Yeah. No worries. Yeah. We'll come back. Yeah. Or should we carry on? Let's carry on.
No, let's carry on. Yeah, you go tell
Yeah.
vibes.
Flipping my second one was the N64.
Nintendo 64. Is that the one then with the...
That was the one with the 3. It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
trident.
like
that
a-
thing.
like-
Yeah.
I call it Batman. I
The
don't know why I
Batman
call
thing.
it-
Yeah, that's why you call it Batman.
Yeah,
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 that
that
thing.
one, nice.
And it had the analog stick in the middle.
Yes.
That one there.
What was the main game on that one? I find this period so difficult.
Mario 64 probably.
Mario 64.
Or Zelda. Or
The Mario Kart thing as well was on
Mario
there.
Kart was on there.
Yes, yeah.
The one after
What about
that,
the
yeah.
one with the stars, yeah? And you'd have to shoot the things in... Bro, and there's this...
Was that a game?
Yeah, there's like this star-looking thing with faces. Kirby.
Kirby
Big
thing.
game.
Sick,
Was
innit?
that on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirby was on there.
Kirby
Bro,
was sick, Roski, man.
you see 64 yeah?
Kirby, ooh.
64 was the most mind blown I think I've ever been in one single event in my life. Like literally steam coming
Yeah,
out.
64 is different.
Because you know Brent Cross, we're not too far from here.
Yeah.
Core memory unlocked here. Brent Cross,
Game.
Toys R Us,
Toys R Us, okay.
right?
That's
Staples
shut down
Corner
now.
is shut down now.
Bangkok.
Iconic store. Toys R Us.
Long.
This must have been 1996, 97.
Yeah.
Summer's Day. I remember it so clear. My dad took me and my sister up there. We're in Toys R Us, yeah. They got demo kiosks with N64, bruv. I don't think I've ever been so mind-boggled in my life. I'm playing Mario 64 because I'm coming from SNES.
Yes.
So I'm coming from 2D Mario going from left to right, and that's it.
Yeah.
Bruv, this guy's going backwards, forwards, up, down. He's jumping. I can move the camera around. I can stretch his nose, blood. I remember literally leaving there yeah, thinking, I'm in the future now. Like,
Yeah.
I used to watch Johnny Quest and think, yeah, boy, one day in the future we're going to see 3D. And I was here, innit? Like, do you know what I mean?
Mad.
Yeah, so 64.
64. Then?
And then my number 1, yeah?
Yeah.
No one's going to see this one coming,
Go
bro.
on.
The Switch.
The Switch, yeah,
The
the
one
one that
that's-
you
the
have
one
that you
that's
just
out right
recommended to me.
now.
And the funny thing is, I stopped gaming. So
Is
I
it?
literally go to him before this conversation. I go to him, yo, bro, I want to get into gaming a little bit. What should I get? Should I get one of those Switches? Because I saw you playing with it once.
Yeah, man, it's not
And
bad.
it
It's
does
just,
look. My nephew's got one as well.
do you know why?
I might get into it.
Because man is so busy. Man's a dad, working and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's perfect for that. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't be gaming now. Because I'm just
Because
too
why?
busy.
You can take it
I'm
with
just
you.
too
It's
busy
mobile.
'cause it's mobile. I can be in bed. Do you know what I mean? I
Can
can
I
be
play?
on the couch.
Can me and you play, by the way?
Yeah.
As long as we have some sort of Wi-Fi connection, I guess.
Do you know what's so dread about it? You don't even need a Wi-Fi connection. Me and you can play it right now.
Oh, if
multiplayer,
we're together.
If we're together.
So a Bluetooth kind
It's
of.
like a connect. Yeah, it's like a connect kind of like that.
connectivity.
All Wi-Fi
Hard.
over. Like if you're in your
I'm
yard,
actually
I'm in my
gonna
yard.
consider it. How much are they?
I think
Like
do you know,
$250, I think
I
I've
think they've
seen
gone
it.
down. My bedroom showed me they went down for like up to like just over a bills. The bills 10 in Tesco's. I think they had an overstock or something. So they're trying to get rid of them.
I'm gonna have a look. You know.
Sick.
Yeah, I need a console.
Yeah, sick.
I need
man.
a console.
Sick.
Yes,
what
sir.
about you? What are you saying?
You know what it is, yeah? You need to help me with the technical terms because
Yeah.
when I say, for example, I don't know, I don't know the exact numbers and if it was the
Yeah.
first one and the second.
Yeah.
But I'd say number 3.
Yeah.
Number 3, Atari.
Mm-hmm.
Atari because it was my first ever
Iconic, yeah.
experience of
Yeah.
playing with a console.
Yeah.
And you had the little stick as well.
Yeah.
And the bird game with a gun, yeah, was that on Atari?
That was Duck Hunt. That was on the Nintendo. The first Nintendo.
Which Nintendo?
The first Nintendo. Or the first Nintendo that we all got.
Yeah.
Nintendo
but I'll
Entertainment
have to
System.
put Atari there because I'm always about, personally, pioneering. Innit?
Yeah.
So Atari was the
Yeah.
pioneer
Yeah.
to me.
Is there anything before Atari?
Not that I'm aware of. They might have had a big room, like the desktops used to be a room.
There was desktops. They were.
No, what I'm trying to say is like before when you had a desktop and the desktop would take
Yeah,
a whole
big-
space.
big
So
mainframe,
they
innit?
probably had
Yeah.
had something else, but
That reminds me as well. Honorable mention to PC games. Like gaming.
Counter-Strike.
We were talking about that, whether to include it or not.
Counter-Strike, bro,
We need to
biggest
include
game of
PC.
all time. No one can chat to me. Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike's hard.
1. What's the CS1?
Command and Conquer.
No. Which one is the Counter-Strike? The original Counter-Strike. Which one?
Which one?
The Dust. Counter-terrorist win. Oi, clap,
Hype,
clap.
innit? Hype.
Games
Fi-
like Doom. What is Doom?
The bomb's been planted.
Doom was on
Yeah, you remember that?
PCs.
You still play it?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
No,
PCs,
but I
yeah.
want the old
PC
one with
game.
the pixel
and then,
one.
and then
with
it
the-
came
with the
to
swimming pool and this is that.
it came to 64.
Bro, I need that back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my number 3, Atari. Number 2, I would say PlayStation 1. And that's
Legend.
because of one specific memory, by the way. When
Was it Tekken?
we were... Bro, how do you know? But it gets specific. Bro, it was like this.
Yeah.
At my friend Murphy's house. Yeah, Murphy. So we grew up in a white village.
Yeah.
I was the only Iraqi in the
Yeah,
village. He was the
yeah.
only African in the village.
Yeah.
That was my guy.
Yeah.
We'd go to Murphy's house. We'd have a screen that's this big. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
This big.
Yeah.
And we had only 4 personalities that you can pick. It was Eddie was one of them.
Eddie
and I used to be in
Gordo.
breakdance.
Yeah.
And it was a demo.
Yeah.
So we couldn't even go to
Yeah,
the
that's
big
fine.
boys,
Yeah.
the James
Use
and all
them.
these guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Paul and that.
4. And there was maybe 7 of us just waiting there to play. And that
Sick.
memory and that happiness in that memory.
Core memory, innit?
Of just
Hey.
like you said, the gratitude, yeah.
Yeah, man.
The gratitude was big. We didn't need internet connection and all that stuff. It was just us on a small screen, and we would link up all the time to play this game on my boy's yard. Is that social atmosphere that created? It was mad.
That's a beautiful
And it
memory.
was like 3D-ish for the first
Yeah.
time. And when Eddie would do the windmills and this is that, for me, I was sold, bro. Eddie was my guy. So for that reason, just for that specific game.
Yeah.
That specific memory, I would say PlayStation.
Big.
And I would say my number 1 would that be? Is this the Mega Drive?
Yeah.
Sega Mega Drive, 100%.
Let's go. Let's
and
go.
mainly because of, I'd say Sonic was my main game.
Sonic was the don, yeah.
That Mega
Sonic.
Drive 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't know which one I had.
For the nerds, you got to get that right.
1 or 2C, I don't know that.
It's Master System.
I think it was the Mega Drive.
Okay.
I think it was the Mega Drive. Was it the first one, Genesis?
Yeah.
Did yours have like white buttons on it or red buttons? Do you remember?
Was there no black buttons on them?
There was. There was.
I'm pretty sure my one had black
I'm
buttons.
giving you a lot of work to do, but if we get up the pictures,
Yeah, we're gonna get it.
And was by the way, Super Mario was on Sega as well? It wasn't, right?
Nah,
That was
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
So what was the big Sega games? So I had
America. Oh, come on.
Mortal Kombat,
Sonic.
Sega, Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat,
yeah.
big fatality.
Yeah. It was the Sega one was the one that had the blood. The one on Nintendo didn't have blood.
Fatality, okay.
Yeah, it didn't have the gore in it. So in the arcades it had gore, but then on the Sega it had all the blood and all that.
So a couple honorable mentionable
Yeah.
games
right.
I want to mention. Golden Axe,
Big,
Street Fighter,
big,
Mortal Kombat,
big.
and Sonic was
Big,
bro.
yeah.
Sonic was on the next
Hey.
another level.
That is big. That's a good list, man. What I want to know, I noticed Sega's got the best.
I just pressed the button. Did it go off?
Sega's got the best console names.
Yeah.
Sega's got the best console names, I reckon.
Yeah.
Master System sounds like Genesis, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast. I think that's a beautiful name. Yeah, I think they've got the best names, man.
Yeah, man. Beautiful memory. So, what do we?
Simpler times then. So when you got something, you appreciated it.
Yeah.
Now there's so much.
Yeah.
Everyone's got the latest iPhone.
Yeah.
No one cares anymore.
Yeah.
And also, it was the balance of life. So you'd still go out and play.
Of course, yeah. We were on our bikes, play football.
You'll come
outside,
home and play
Mario
again.
Kart.
Do you see what I mean? So it was like part of the lifestyle rather than the lifestyle. And nowadays it's more like kids being on their consoles all day, every day.
all the time. Yeah.
So digital and just virtual.
It's like it's not balanced, isn't it? So in anything you want there to be balanced, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of the times they become indulgent, and it's like, oh, I like playing games. Sucked in, all they do in it. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to go outside, touch grass, and have a balance in it.
But we know what helps them with that as well is the online nature of it. Because you can literally sit there with your friends for hours.
That's
and
the
hours
big
and chat to
difference.
them and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's the big
But
difference.
At the time, your brother will get bored.
Yeah.
Playing by yourself.
Yeah.
You might have lost 4 or 5 times, and you say,
yeah, but that's the thing. Us, we used to link up. So we used to, do you know what I mean? There would be like 6 of us, like, do you know what I'm saying? In the yard, like running the games.
Part of the social gathering. Yeah.
Drop the bikes down, pick the bikes back up, and then we'll go right off. Do you know what I mean? Like go play football and that.
Yeah.
Because there's that. What's that meme where you got like you knew where all the boys were because you saw all the bikes outside.
Yeah, man. So that was it for today, right?
There you have it, man. I think we can wrap it up there. That was a good chat. It's always a pleasure.
Richard,
Rich, appreciate you, broski. Yeah. I was told, but now I see it, man. He dropped some real gems, man. I hope the people at home can digest that information and look further into it, make some notes, run it back, and just take a real good listen to some of the things that Rich was coming out with, man.
You mentioned Tribe before. Let me shout out my guys in the Alkaline community. So there's a shop called, if you're ever in Brixton, look up Alkaline Cleanse Juice Bar. There's some of my guys down there. Big up Gideon, big up Sonny. Sonny Heal Thyself. He sells the best CMOS in London. So don't check him out. Yeah.
Thank you.
Else? My guy I do my radio show with. So I didn't mention that I'm kind of connected to like a health shop in Brixton. It's called Netta Vitals. That's where you get all your CMOS, your herbs, black seed oil, all this kind of stuff. So that's how I already got into the health thing before, but that was like, you talk about finding your tribe and your people. So I kind of got involved with that. So we've got the shop, Netta Vital, and then Netta My Art Center. That's where we do meditation classes and yoga classes, martial arts as well. So that's a lot going on. That's in Brixton. So if you're ever down there, look that up.
Big. Please subscribe as well, guys. We need your support. And we're nearly back onto the 1K. Rizk TV used to be on 1K.
That's
on
hype.
like 976.
That's hype.
So we're nearly back there as well. So yeah, man, thank you for the love as well from last time. Join us on our premiere, and we'll be back again.
And also, what we want to do before we go, send in your comments, your questions, and stuff like that, right? And then we're gonna start as we go forward. Now we're gonna start like getting you guys more involved. So you already know you can walk in. This is the walk-in podcast, so feel free to walk in and send in your comments and your questions and stuff like that, and we'll be able to get back to you on the next time. Peace, safe, bless, done.